What's up, guys? Ron Pascal here, Young Intellectuals. We actually got some office space now, which is exciting, so we can do a little bit more in-depth training for you. But real quickly, I'm going to be talking to you about these three things, okay? Simulation, how to understand how simulation works, the 10,000 kick principle, and strategic thinking. I want to have more practical training for you so you can use this, take this from this video, use it, and just literally apply it to everything you're doing, right? So, let's just talk about simulation. Just in case you don't know what simulation is, there's a book called The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, right? Richard Dawkins is a scientist, and this book, Selfish Gene, is one of the best books to ever exist for humans, for humankind, civilization. And it talks pretty much about how there's two ways to learn things, right? One way is through trial and error, right? It's like you touch the stove and you're like, I burned my hand, and you know not to touch the stove again. Or, you know, you just drive into a wrong neighborhood and you realize, oh shit, this is a wrong neighborhood, I shouldn't, you know, come here again. Trial and error, or this simulation. Simulation is getting knowledge from someone else or knowledge from another source, another resource, and using that knowledge for your advantage, okay? Simulation, for example, would be instead of touching the stove, having your mom tell you, you know, listen, Ron, don't touch the damn stove. And from there, I don't even have to burn myself to learn I shouldn't be touching the stove, right? And the thing about most of us as humans is we tend to want to try it anyways. Like there's something with that wet paint, you know, humans always touch the wet paint even though the sign is there. We do this in so many things and it hurts us, right? We tend to want to learn through our own trial and error, which is kind of inefficient. Warren Buffett always says, you want to make sure, he says, learning from your own mistakes is good, but it makes more sense to learn from others, right? Why learn from your own mistakes when I can learn from someone else's? So it's always the simple things that we fuck up, you know? It's something as simple as simulation. Listen, learn from other people. That's the quickest way to get ahead, but you know, a lot of us get that screwed up. So for you, understand this. What are some ways you can simulate? I want you to think about that, right? Do you want to learn how to cook from yourself, or would you want to learn from a mentor, or would you want to get a cooking class? YouTube. You know, the quickest way to simulate is, there's a couple ways. One way would be video. So obviously watching YouTube videos, you know, watching some courses online, that's one way to simulate so you can make less mistakes. It's like, why learn how to try it on your own when I can just watch a video of someone else doing it? It's like dance moves. If you want to learn how to like pop lock and stuff, do you want to learn how to do it on your own and try to like figure it out, like, or do you want to go on YouTube and learn from someone else who's already pretty good at it and just simulate what they're doing, you know? That's one way. What's another way to simulate? Books, right? Reason why I say you should read a lot is because with books you got that knowledge and you don't have to learn from yourself. If you read Sam Walton's book, he's like, look, make sure you read a damn contract because you might get screwed. If you read that, you know, you read a lot of biographies, you're gonna see some patterns and you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna read this contract because Sam Walton did and he got screwed and he said, don't do that. Same thing with Felix Dennis. Always read biographies, and that's why I'm always big on books. Anyone who says you shouldn't be reading books is ignorant to the fact that why would I want to learn from my own mistakes, you know? Human mankind, it's like humans have always been in problems. Lessons of history, Will Durant talks about that. Why would I want to learn through my own mistakes when I can learn through someone else's, you know? Read Richard Branson's books, read Sam Wiley, read J.R. Simplot, read Sam Walton, read even Jeff Bezos, Amazon, how he started Amazon. If you can see how he started Amazon, you can take lessons from that, apply it to your own stuff, and simulate, right? So what's the third way to simulate? A mentor or coaching, right? Pay for it. That's what school is. All school is you paying for simulation. You know, you don't want to learn how to be a doctor on your own. You could, but it's too much work. So you pay Someone else, a teacher is considered a mentor, by the way, because you're with them for 6 months and you pay them to teach you. That's pretty much a mentor, right? Some mentorships are paid for, but overall, there's some kind of value exchange, right? So this is another form of simulation. So whenever you catch yourself trying to learn on your own, like I'm not gonna learn how to dance on my own, you know? Make sure you're asking yourself, are you really simulating properly? Are you using simulation the right way? Or are you doing trial and error? Are you touching the stove and learning, or are you actually, simulating and getting information from other people? Like dating, for example. How many girls or how many guys do you know? It could be your friends. They keep dating the wrong person, even though they know they shouldn't be with them. I keep dating this guy. I don't know why. Simulate. When you see them going through that, ask yourself, can I take a lesson from this? Can I simulate from their mistakes? That way I won't make them. This is the way to think, okay? Simulation. So that's number one. Because why? Trial and error is too expensive and it's also fatal. You can die from without simulating right? You have a friend, sorry, I want to hammer this in because this is important. You ever go to the bar and you got that buddy, he's always talking shit and he's very loud, and out of nowhere, he gets punched in the face by some guy and he stops talking loud and stops acting up, He had to learn the hard way. He keeps talking too much, he's in the wrong place, you might get beat up. Then after that, he learned the hard way. He had to get punched in the face to learn. Avoid that punch in the face, okay? I want you to simulate, learn from other people and learn from their mistakes, right? That's number one. Number two is the 10,000 kicks. Habits are more important than competence, I believe, honestly. It doesn't matter. It's like, I'd rather you read every day and read 10 pages in one day, if you can, than try to read a whole book a day, right? I don't want you jumping to reading a book a day and losing reading in general. Like, I'd rather you be more consistent. I'd rather you at least touching a book every day, even if you're reading 10 pages, I'd rather you do that than try to read too much a day, get burnt out, and give up, right? For example, I read a study on the gym. People stick to the gym more if they just show up more. Like Woody Allen says, success, half of it's just showing up, right? Consistency. Doesn't matter if you go to some workouts, you might have a good day, some workouts, you might have a shitty day. As long as you're in the gym, that's what's more important, As long as you're in the book. So if you have a day and the day is tough and you're like, I don't want to read the 50 pages today, it's too much work for me, don't read the 50 pages, just read 10. Because remember, it's the 10,000 kicks. This comes from the principle of I fear a man who does one kick 10,000 times than a man who does 10,000 different kicks, right? Focus on consistency, Get in that book. Just be in that book at least every day. 10 pages, 50 pages, who cares? As long as you're in a book and reading something every day, that's more important. You're going to stick with it in the long term because this is a long-term game. It's never a short-term game. Always think long-term. So 10,000 kicks, okay? I want you to be more consistent in whatever you're trying to do. You want to hit the gym? Make sure you just at least get in the gym every day. You want to read? Make sure you're at least in the book every day, okay? Consistency, 10,000 kicks. And last but not least, the third one is I want you to become strategic in your thinking, right? I don't want you to do the same thing over and over again without deeply thinking, why am I doing this? And this could be in anything. Whatever new you're trying to start, a lot of people that I know, they don't reflect why things went good or why things went bad. It's like, a good example would be, like in the morning, what I do is I do 15-minute strategic thinking sessions. In the morning when I wake up, before I start my day, before anyone is, awake to bother me, I like to spend at least 15 minutes thinking, where am I at in my life right now? What am I doing that's good? What am I doing that's bad? What do I need to change? What do I need to stop doing? I think about all these things through strategy. If someone doesn't like me, I'm thinking, why don't they like me? I don't dwell on it too much, but I'm still being strategic with my thinking. Don't just do flurries of activity because that never works, okay? Become strategic. A good example would be, let me just think of a good one. There's many of them, honestly. It can be applied to anything. A good one would be dating. Like, I know a lot of guys who are just horrible with women. I'm not trying to say I'm a Casanova, but I know a lot of guys who are not good with women. And I asked them, they asked me, why am I so bad, or what do I need to change? Then I look at them when they're out, or like when they're around women, and it's just horrible. It's like you don't realize that hygiene's important, right? Like this guy, he's like, why am I so bad with women? But if he noticed and realized that maybe he should just like take the eye crust out of his eye every day, and he actually worked on himself and realized that, and actually thought about that, or actually became more aware of how he is in these places, he would just be better off. He's doing the same thing every time. He's not changing anything because he's not being strategic in his thinking. You always got to sit back and reflect on yourself. Reflect, think, what am I doing right now? What is the result I'm getting? What am I not doing? What do I need to change to get a different result? And and how am I going to do that? What methods, what actions am I going to do that? But like, the importance is, it's just even getting to this in general. How many people do you know even get here? People just go to work. You just go to work, you just work out. Like, you're not really thinking about your work. You're not thinking about anything else. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. You're literally, this is you. Literally. You're no different than a little hamster in its wheel. You're just spinning over and over again. This is you, right? This is me too. It's not even just you, it's me too, But if you strategically think, am I in a wheel? Am I running around over and over again? If you strategically think, maybe I should jump out of this and go somewhere else, go to Starbucks, right? You'll be out of this mess. Okay, so I want you to do these 3 things. I want you to simulate, learn from other people's mistakes. You want to learn something, go on YouTube first, buy a book, right? Pay for someone, pay for coaching. Don't learn kickboxing by yourself, pay for a kickboxing coach. Simulate, don't learn from your own trial and error, right? I want you to do 10,000 kicks. Be more consistent, right? If you feel tired, you don't want to do it today, just do a little bit. Just do 10 minutes, it's better than nothing, right? Just read 10 pages, it's better than 0. I want you to do that, 10,000 kicks. And the last but not least, I want you to be strategic. Don't be the hamster. Don't be the hamster stuck in the loop, right? I want you to break out of that, and you can't do that without being strategic in your thinking, okay? So spend 15, 20 minutes being strategic, right? So that's it for me. A little bit more practical here. Definitely check out the book summaries that I got going out. They're really, really, really educational, over 100 books in there. Great knowledge, courses, live events, everything, you name it. And definitely just make sure you also subscribe to the YouTube, get in the Facebook group, Books, Knowledge, and Greatness. All these are going to be in the description below, or they'll be in annotations. And I'll see you on the next video.